We begin today with this submission, where another tragedy linked to a Dangote truck is making headlines, this time in Auchi, Edo State, just outside Omega Fire Ministries. Reports say that 3 people lost their lives when 2 trucks, one belonging to Dangote Cement, another unidentified truck, and a GLK Mercedes-Benz were involved in an accident. Now, Apostle Johnson Suleiman, the general overseer of the church, whose attention was called to the scene, has now spoken out, and his reaction is going viral. Have a look at what he had to say.
The young boys, they walk over time. You can see them that they have been driving for like 2 days. No sleeping. There are things that are unavoidable, but that kind of death is avoidable. What kind of human being is that? Your truck is just...
Now, this comes barely a week after Big Brother Naija star Phyna raised alarm over her sister, Ruth Otabo, who had both legs amputated after a Dangote truck crushed her near Auchi Polytechnic. Now, that story, of course, gripped the nation. And now, with another accident happening so close by, the question is growing louder. How many more lives must be lost before decisive action is taken? And what measures can we as a society, and indeed the Dangote Group, put in place to ensure that trucks are properly regulated, that corporations are held accountable, and most importantly, that pedestrians can walk our streets without fear? I believe that it is pertinent that we enforce corporate responsibility on Nigerian companies and on Nigerian roads. Corporate justice is important. If you ask me, this is all I'll say on it. 3 times an accident, 4 times is a pattern. Let's take a look at social media. Veronique Ton says, this is beyond painful. How many more lives must be lost before strict regulations are enforced on these Dangote trailers? Families are being destroyed in seconds. May the souls of the departed rest in peace. Very apt. And Okuya says, we can't talk about these reoccurring tragedies without mentioning the deplorable state of these roads. The drivers have their faults, but the road itself is a disaster waiting to happen. Team, we are seeing here the Dangote truck. Unfortunately, 3 lives have lost, and I want to say here on air, may their souls rest in perfect peace.
Dangote, this is one accident too many. Your image as a big business is suffering. So it's about time they started screening drivers that drive whatever truck carries your name, whether it is franchise or it's your actual truck, it doesn't really matter. And after that, train and train and train.
I support that, because you can't just put someone behind the wheels, driving a very long, truck, moving from one end of the country to another, and then endangering the lives of people. Dangote has always been in the news for good reasons as well as bad reasons. Bad reasons, in this case, we're talking about when it comes to people's lives being lost as a result of reckless drivers who are not well trained. Some of them, I don't know what they take before they get behind the trucks. So much needs to be done in terms of PR.
This is my plea to Alhaji Dangote. It's one too many. Even though oftentimes I do not really agree with Apostle Suleiman, but what he said made a lot of sense. We need to checkmate these drivers. I've said it last week on the show. Some of these drivers, they take a lot of substances before they drive. So what I want Dangote to do now, even though I know that he's not the person hiring the drivers, but the people he put in charge to get those drivers, he needs to look into it and make sure that they're hiring people that have their driver's licenses and people that are sound. You cannot just put any young person behind not just a normal saloon car, behind such a big truck.
It's quite unfortunate someone like Dangote is being dragged to things like this. Dangote is a big name. It's a big name to reckon with. In fact, it's a brand, a major brand that have thrived despite all odds. However, things like this are actually reviews that should not be played down under the carpet. They are actually reviews that one needs to take serious, especially one who is business oriented, one who actually wants the growth of his organization. So we advise that Dangote at this point should actually call his staffs to order, because we're not just done with that of Phyna. It's not even up to complete 2 weeks, and yet another one. This might end up dragging Dangote's name or his brand into the gutter or into the mud. So please, Dangote, you need to really work on people who are under your personnel to check. For instance, the number of hours these drivers run is something that needs to be checkmate. Because someone who has been on the road for like 2 to 3 days, what will be on that person's mind is just to reach his or her destination so they can attain some level of rest. On the other hand, what are the things that are put in place to checkmate that substances are not some of the things that will serve as challenge to some of these drivers, because most of them, they're exhausted, they're passing through this stress on the road. They might want to supplement just to stay awake with substances and so on. So these are areas too that should be looked into. And then on the other hand, the government is not left out of this, because where there are better roads, there will be less of these incidences. So you can see those heavy duty trucks, with the deplorable nature of our roads, it's a major challenge. So I think it's an all-round challenge. The government have a role to play, including the citizens too. To some extent, they also have a role to play. Before you enter the road or you cross or anything, you need to also check that the road is completely clear. So I think with this, I don't know what your own opinion might be. Let me know in the comment box. I hope you have subscribed. If you are yet to do so, please click the subscribe button below, because more and beautiful content like this will be coming your way. At this point, I want to really appreciate everyone who has always been coming back to check on what is new, because I look forward to that moment where this particular channel becomes your most favorite click. For now, stay safe. Cheers.